Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you for joining us today at the event on sustainable transportation and the letter of intent signing. This letter of intent signifies a new alliance between the UK and Indonesia. I hope you're all doing well during this Ramadan and that your fasting is going well. Let me start by introducing myself. My name is Tamanna Yunus, and I'm a third-year chemical engineering student at the University of Nottingham. I'm a UKICIS liaison officer, and for anyone unfamiliar with what UKICIS is, we are a diaspora-led alliance of Indonesian and UK research-intensive universities, whose mission is to improve resilience against global issues like COVID-19 and climate change, which is why we're here today to talk about sustainable transportation. I'd like to welcome our esteemed guest joining us. Later today, His Excellency Minister Budi Karya Sumadi from the Ministry of Transportation of the Republic of Indonesia will be joining us. We have His Excellency Ambassador Desra Percaya with us, who has been so supportive in helping UKICIS form these alliances. We have Professor Robert Makoyo, Pro-Vice Chancellor of Global Engagement at the University of Nottingham. We have Dr. Siti Maimuna, Director of Polytechnic of Road Transportation Safety. And we have Dr. Bagus Muljadi, UKICIS Coordinator. I'd also like to welcome our panel members, Professor Bagus Budiwantoro, Professor Patrick Wheeler, Professor Satryo Brodjonegoro, Dr. Indra Tambunan, and Mr. Bambang Rianto. I'd now like to pass over to Dr. Bagus Muljadi, who will be moderating the focus group discussion of this session. Over to you, Bagus.
Thank you very much, Tamanna. Indeed. Good morning to you attending from the United Kingdom, and good afternoon to you, colleagues, friends from the Indonesian side. I'm very happy to host today's event along with Tamanna as a moderator for the focus group discussion. We have received the news from the protocol of the Ministry of Transportation that the minister himself will join us at 15:30 Indonesian time, 9:30 the UK time. So we will begin first by having the focus group discussion. And in anticipation of the ministers attending the event, we will bring the discussion to a halt to continue with the procession of the LOI. First of all, I would like to again welcome you. My name is Bagus Muljadi. I'm an assistant professor at the University of Nottingham, also the coordinator of the UK-Indonesia Consortium for Interdisciplinary Sciences. Now, today is yet another great event that I have the privilege of witnessing, because we're going to have the signing ceremony of the letter of intent as a starting of collaboration between UK and Indonesia in tackling such an important problem, and that is sustainable transportation. So as we know, the pandemic had taught us that there are a lot of problems that the world is facing at the moment that no other countries or no countries at all can face it alone. Indonesia has the potential to not only partake but lead in the fields of sustainable transportation at these critical times, because of the nature of Indonesia being a country so rich with base minerals for batteries, a large archipelago that really are blessed but fragile at the same time because of the 17,000 islands it possesses. So we are going to talk today about the UK and Indonesian academics sharing best practices, challenges, and what would it be required to develop sustainable transportation, electric vehicles, charging station, and all the peripheral technologies in both countries. So we know that UK is unlike Indonesia and vice versa. It has its own challenges, and so does Indonesia. So today we will hear from academics across the two countries. Professor Patrick Wheeler is the group leader of the Power Electronics Machine and Control Research Group at the University of Nottingham, prominent figures in the field of electric vehicles. Professor Satryo Brodjonegoro, the chairman of Akademi Ilmu Pengetahuan Indonesia and also the chairman of National EV Acceleration Program. Dr. Bambang Rianto, Dr. Indra Tambunan, Professor Bagus Budiwantoro from my own alma mater, Institut Teknologi Bandung, and other speakers also. I would also welcome you later on to perhaps post your questions on the on the chat box, and if time permits, we would be then able to address some of those questions. Okay, so as the first speaker and who have also attended this event, I would like to welcome Professor Bagus Budiwantoro. Professor of Mechanical Engineering, again, my own alma mater, Mechanical Engineering, at the Institut Teknologi Bandung. Institut Teknologi Bandung is also part of the UK-Indonesia Consortium for Interdisciplinary Sciences. Professor Bagus Budiwantoro, if you can hear me.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, okay. So I have received your presentation. Please, if you want to operate it yourself, you can. Please,
Okay,
for colleagues at the KBRI to assign a co-hostship to him.
Okay, can I share the our PowerPoint?
Please, yeah.
Okay. It's still disabled, I think, for share screen. Mas Bagus?
Yeah, colleagues.
It is enabled.
It is enabled, is it, Pak Dali?
Okay.
Okay. Can you please try again, Pak Bagus? Bisa dicoba lagi.
Yeah.
Bisa, Pak? Atau mungkin dari kolega?
Bisa.
Oke, siap.
Bisa. Okay. Can you see our presentation? Mas Bagus?
Belum bisa.
Belum ya?
Belum bisa. Mungkin teman dari KBRI bisa screen share on Professor Bagus' behalf, please.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, good morning for our colleagues from UK. I'm Bagus Budiwantoro from Faculty of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering, ITB, Institute Teknologi Bandung. Now, ITB has the National Center for Sustainable Transportation Technology. We call it NCSTT. NCSTT, the National Center appointed by Minister of Research and Technology in 2018, established by ITB and in partnership with 8 other Indonesian universities. Our vision is to be an excellent research institute in the field of transportation technology and actively involved in advancing ITB as the product development and innovation to solve the future mobility issue in Indonesia. Okay, next. Okay. We have for activity in research and innovation. The first is engineering and design electric vehicle and railway. The second is infrastructure development. The third is policy planning, business, transit-oriented development, or TOD, training and education. Our research team supports from 8 faculty or school, 20 lab and research group, and we have 56 researchers. Next. Okay, this is the industry collaboration. We have the collaboration with local industry and foreign industry, like Hyundai, like GR is Japan, Toyota Motor, and we have the collaboration with abroad university like MIT. From UK is University of Oxford, University of Leeds, Imperial College of London, University of Cambridge, Tsinghua University from China. Next. This is the strategy. Our strategy is stay to collaboration with top university and top university with universities with ranking. Okay, next. Our funding source come from government agency. The first is from Ministry of Education and Culture and Research and Technology, from Minister of Finance, LPDP, Minister of Transport, Minister of Energy. Source funding collaboration from industry comes from Hyundai, Honda, Toyota, Mitsubishi, Bakri Automotive, Grab, and Pertamina. International funding source come from USAID, Newton Fund, Royal Academy of Engineering, China, MOS, and Mung. Our annual research budget about $4 million per year. Next. This is the our innovation in research on electric vehicle. The first is electric bus for shuttle transportation, yeah, like for Transjakarta, e-trike, electric vehicle for delivery for PT Pos Indonesia, reserve energy storage system, LE-ion NCA battery, solid state battery, battery integrity safety system, infrastructure development, static dynamic induction charging system. This is the research on our electric vehicle. Especially with USAID funding, we collaborate with MIT. We have research on LE-ion battery from micro scale, meso scale, macro scale, and macro system. Next. Next. Okay, next. Okay. This is the our produce patent based on our design in electric bus. The first patent comes from battery BMS, battery management system. The second patent, before. Sorry. No, before. Yeah, stop. Okay, this is our, next. Stop. No, before. Yeah, okay. This is our produce patent comes from our electric bus prototype. Yeah, the first is battery BMS. The first patent is battery BMS, battery management system. The second is about the chassis. The second is the brushless DC motor. This is the third our patent. And the second is our patent in development of smart dashboard. Next. This is our industry collaboration. We have the range extender with PT Daun Biru Engineering. We have collaboration research in BLDC motor. We have collaboration like inverter, HU, and converter. And then onboard charger, and the rest is the electric platform for EV bus. Okay, next. This is our another product in our research with TRECA. This is the Indonesian industry. We call it the Metro Capsule. This is the figure is about our prototype. Next. Okay, next. This is the test. No, before. This is the test when we have to get the certification about our Metro Capsule. Yeah, we have to make the underframe static, and then upper structure test for certification, to get the certification, and then we have to test the fatigue test for bogie, our Metro Capsule. Okay, next. This is the interior of our prototype Metro Capsule. Next. Concerning the safety, we have to on the certification from Minister of Transportation. We have to give them the simulation of crashworthiness from the Metro Capsule. Okay, next. Next. This is the train controller from our Metro Capsule. This is the power and propulsion system. Next. Another our future prototype is about the Nagara. Next. Okay. Next. Next. This is the our solution for this is the our prototype, the future prototype for military grade component and feature. Okay. Next. The Nagara, creating sustainable ecosystem, the ecosystem network of interaction between all aspects of electric mobility. The key element is EV production air service vehicle in its essential element, and the impact accommodate collaboration among potential affiliation across Indonesia. Okay, the Nagara, we are continuously passing our boundary to ensure a sustainable electric vehicle ecosystem for generation to come. Next. Okay, thank you for our presentation. Thank you, Pak Bagus.
Yes.
Mr. Bagus.
Thank you very much, Professor Bagus Budiwantoro. So as we have witnessed, ITB has conducted a lot of research in this area, and also we had a plan to develop some prototypes together, something that we would share when the time comes. So the Indonesian already have some activities going on in this project. So from the Indonesian side, we are now moving to the UK side. Also attending with us now is Professor Patrick Wheeler, as I have introduced you earlier. Professor Patrick Wheeler, if you can hear me, you could either operate your own PowerPoint, or we also have yours. Please share your screen if you can.
Right. Yep. Thank you very much. So I'm Professor Pat Wheeler from the University of Nottingham, and I've been asked just to speak briefly about some of the work we do. Can you see my screen? Okay.
It's starting. Yeah. Maybe give it a couple of seconds. It just shows blank. Okay, now it is. Okay, now you're clear, please.
Excellent. Okay, so hopefully. So the group I lead at the University of Nottingham is within the Faculty of Engineering, and it's called the Power Electronics, Machines and Control Research Group. And we work on solutions for transportation electrification and energy conversion. as you'll see, some very similar platforms to the previous speaker. I believe we're one of the largest groups in the world working on these technology areas. Just in the research group, we currently have around £30 million, 35 million US dollars worth of active research grants. And over 60% of that research income is linked to work we do with industrial partners. So we're very keen on the knowledge exchange as well as the research itself. The research group currently has about 160 members. About 20 of those are academic staff or faculty. 60 are postdoctoral research fellows. We have about 80 PhD students. And we're also very keen on having visitors to the group. We're very keen on international collaborations. And there's always research visitors coming in and out of the research group as well. So it's one of the mechanisms that works very well for collaborative research is that exchange of people, experience, and knowledge. When we look at transportation and electrification and we look at the technologies needed, we find that we're working in the right sort of areas. We work on electrical machines, and we saw that in the excellent diagrams in the last presentation. We work on the power electronic systems that are needed to drive those machines, to interface with the grid, to interface with the electrical system on the vehicle, and so on. We work in motor drives and the electrical power systems themselves. So how do we deliver the electrical energy in the way that's needed for the platform? How do we interface to the grid? How do we connect renewable energy to the grid as well? And we also look at reliability through looking at the packaging of power electronics and how we build things that will last, the design time that they're needed without costing too much. And underlying all of this, we have a theme on thermal management. As you will appreciate, whenever you change the form of energy, you generate heat, and that heat has to go from where it's generated to the air around the equipment or around the vehicle or so on. So that thermal management process is very important. It's a very exciting time for us in Nottingham at the moment. We've just opened 6 weeks ago our new building on the university's Jubilee campus. So we've got an £18 million dedicated research building just for this research area. Just looking at the research, the PhD students and postdoctoral research fellows in this type of area. So it's a big building, it's a nice new building. We're currently moving into that. And when we do, we've got 3,500 square meters of laboratory and workshop space. And we'll be able to work at power levels up to about 5 megawatts. So why we want to do that in a moment. So as well as doing a lot of research and collaboration with international partners, with industry and so on, we also like to demonstrate our technology in exciting ways. This is one of the ways we've done that. So we built an electric superbike. So the technology on here has more to do with aerospace and large vehicles than motorbikes, because we want to have high power, compact components that go on the bicycle. But the electrical system of this is virtually identical to the bus we saw in the previous presentation. We have a battery, we built the battery management system, we have an electrical motor that's been optimized for a particular racetrack. We have a power converter to control that motor that sits under the saddle of that motorbike. And we test it by going racing. There's no better way to test technology than to put it on a vehicle that is going to be driven at its maximum power and maximum speed as much as possible. And as you can see on there, we've had some great successes with that vehicle. It's faster around the Portimao racetrack in Portugal than a BMW Superbike, which is the rider you see on that bike. That was his petrol bike at the time. Portimao is where the Formula One race was last weekend. And we've also finished on the podium of the Isle of Man TT, probably the hardest motorbike race in the world, 3 times out of the last 5 years. So a good demonstration of technology, a good test of technology, and a way of exciting people about transportation and the electrification. It's all very good doing everyday vehicles, but if you can get people excited about race vehicles, you generate that credibility, that interest, and you show that the technology is very credible and can be very exciting. Another vehicle we're involved in building at the moment as a small demonstrator is looking at the electrical technology and actually putting it on a small aircraft. So this single-seater race aircraft for the Air Race series is in our laboratories at the moment. And we're putting into there a very similar drivetrain to the one on the motorbike. It's going to have the same sort of battery system, the same sort of duty cycles, slightly different arrangement to the electrical motor, but essentially the same sort of thing. And this allows us to explore the application of technologies in these areas, but also looking at things like certification, airworthiness, and so on. So behind all of this is a lot of technology development. Here's just the example of an electrical drivetrain and all the technologies we're seeing going into making the electrical machines and the power converters for that drivetrain smaller and lighter to enable this transportation and electrification in the future. So we're seeing lots of technologies around materials, around cooling techniques, around manufacturing, particularly the additive manufacturing world, around even things like windings, how you do the windings, how you arrange the windings in the machine, as well as the massive advances we're having in power electronics. And this is all allowing us to make electrical machines smaller and lighter. So the example in the bottom right-hand corner there is a 4 megawatt propulsion motor in about the space that traditionally you would find a 30 kilowatt industrial induction motor. So we're able to really make these machines smaller, really make them powerful, and really make this dream of transportation electrification to become part of reality. So just moving on a little bit from that and looking at some of the other technologies that are happening. So I've already dealt with the electric vehicle drivetrains, machines, the power electronics, mechanical components. But this is only part of what we need if we're going to have an electric transportation system. One other thing that you need to have a lot of is charging stations. And the map in the top right-hand corner of this slide just shows where the charging stations are available to the public today in the UK. And we've got a fairly good spread across the country. You can pick out the main motorway systems on that map. When you start looking at this, you find that a lot of those are local low power charging stations, maybe where people work, maybe in supermarket car parks and so on. The other thing we need if we're going to have a lot of electric vehicles on the road are big fast charging stations to allow cars to go for long journeys and so on. The first one of those in the UK opened near Braintree fairly recently. So the picture in the bottom right-hand corner there shows the first of the UK's all-electric service stations. So this is a place where you pull in, put your car on a fast charge for 20 minutes and go and have a cup of coffee. And there's 100 more of those planned for across the UK. Now, planning those is a big deal. It doesn't just require the site and the local infrastructure, but it requires planning of the electrical power distribution network and generation. If you've got 20 cars on that site, all charging with 150 kilowatt chargers, you're having to deliver a lot of power to that site. And ideally, you want to do that with sustainable and renewable resources. So there's a lot of different things going on there. That's the UK approach. We also have very strong connections with Chile. Chile has a slightly different system. I'm sure Indonesia is the same. Chile, for those of you who don't know, is a very long, thin country with a lot of solar energy in the north and a lot of hydroelectric in the south. And you know, one of the things we're doing in Nottingham is to collaborate with our friends in Chile and to look at how they might organise their electrical power system to suit that country and to suit the infrastructure needs there. But in the UK, we're moving very quickly in this area. Our government has announced that we will only have electric vehicle sales by 2030. That's not very far away in terms of technology and in terms of being ready for that change. And I'm just ending with a slide, just looking at some of the one of the projects in the UK that is getting the country ready for this big change in transportation. Interestingly, a bus, just like the previous speaker. Our City of London has a whole new fleet of buses, starting off with hybrid electric propulsion, but introducing more and more fully electric propulsion buses at the moment, and experimenting with things like inductive charging, hydrogen fuel cells, and so on. So using these buses, not just as transportation for the city, but as a platform for experimentation and a platform for investigating these new technologies in a real world environment. So thank you very much for listening. I hope I've stuck to time and I'm looking forward to the rest of this session. Thank you very much. Back over to you, Bagus.
Thank you very, very much indeed, Pat. I would like to remind us again that this focus group discussion will present some of the ideas from both countries, from the UK and from Indonesia. And then some of the thread of the discussion can then be used to give advice to the Ministry of Transportation regarding the regulations, the know-how of EV infrastructure development in the country, but also to partly input into the agreements to be drafted between the University of Nottingham and Polytechnic of Road Transportation Safety. So I would like to explain again that the UKICIS is a consortium of 6 universities at the moment, between the University of Nottingham, Warwick University, Coventry University, ITB, IPB, and UGM at the moment. I would like to also say hi to our friends from Coventry University attending this event, Dr. Jason and Dr. Hugh Davis also, that has been with us in the attendance. Thank you very much. And I am informed at the moment that the Minister of Transportation, Minister Budi Karya, had attended this event. Is that the case, correct? Okay, well, good afternoon to you, Minister Budi Karya, and Professor Robert Mokaya from the University of Nottingham has also attended this meeting. Professor Robert Mokaya is our Pro-Vice Chancellor of Global Engagement. I would like to return the event to our host, Ms. Tamanna Enus, the UKICIS Liaison Officer. Professor Robert Mokaya, if you can hear me, please turn on your video so we can have your video spotlighted in there. Well, thank you very much. Tamanna, over to you.
Thank you, Bagus, and thank you, Professor Budiwantoro and Wheeler, for that lovely presentation. I'd like to start by welcoming our esteemed guest, His Excellency Minister Budi Karya Sumadi, and His Excellency Ambassador Desra Pachaya. Assalamu alaikum, I hope you're both well. I'd also like to welcome Professor Robert Mokoyo and Dr. Siti Maimuna. Assalamu alaikum. We are going to proceed with the letter of intent signing ceremony, but before we do that, Ambassador Desra Pachaya has some opening remarks for us.
Thank you very much, Tamanna. Yang saya hormati Menteri Perhubungan Bapak Budi Karya Sumadi, Professor Robert Mokaya, Dr. Siti Maimunah, esteemed panelists and distinguished participants. Good morning from UK and good afternoon Indonesia. Let me begin by expressing my sincere appreciation to Minister Budi Karya Sumadi for being with us today and for his keynote speech to be delivered later. Similar appreciation also goes to the UK-Indonesia Consortium of Interdisciplinary Sciences, UKICIS, for organizing this event in collaboration with the Ministry of Transportation and the Indonesian Embassy in London. My special thanks to all panelists, Dr. Muhammad Taufik Budi Santoso, Professor Bagus Budiwantoro, Professor Patrick Wheeler, Professor Satryo Brodjonegoro, and Dr. Indra Tambunan for joining forum group discussion, Sustainable Transportation for Low Carbon and Resilient Future. I'm also happy to inform you all that we will witness the signing of the letter of intent between the University of Nottingham and Polytechnic of Road Transportation Safety. In this regard, congratulations to Professor Robert Mokaya, a good friend of mine from University of Nottingham, and Ibu Siti Maimunah, Director for Polytechnic of Road Transportation Safety. I have every confidence that this signing will pave the way for further collaboration and should lead to a concrete cooperation between the two parties and also Indonesia and UK. Let me also emphasize that such collaboration is pertinent to one of Indonesia's national priorities in developing its human capital. Indeed, through human capital development, Indonesia's global competitiveness is expected to continue to increase, supported by stable macroeconomic indicators, vibrant democracy, as well as its commitment to sustainable development, including sustainable transportation for low carbon. The discussion we are having, I believe, should enrich our collaboration, particularly in identifying the role of electric vehicles in decarbonizing Indonesia's road transport sector and its techno-socio-economic challenges, as well as finding some practical solutions for a greater concrete cooperation which embrace the synergy between government, academia, and businesses. Moreover, for a resilient future, as one of the sub-theme of this event, I hope the discussion will also provide input for future policy and regulatory framework on the development of electric vehicles in Indonesia. Rest assured that the Indonesian Embassy in London will be at your disposal to make sure that today's discussion and the signing of the letter of intent will be followed up. Finally, wish you all a productive and fruitful discussion. And thank you again, Minister, for taking the time despite your busy schedule. Thank you, Tamana.
Thank you, Your Excellency. We are now going to begin with the signing ceremony. So Dr. Siti Maimunah and Professor Robert Mokaya, if you both want to sign the document and then, and then maybe hold it up to the screen so we can take a photo. And someone from the embassy will take a picture now. Yes, thank you. And I'm now going to pass over to His Excellency Minister Budi Karya Sumadi, who is going to give a keynote speech.
As a host, good afternoon, Mr. Desa Percaya, Indonesian Ambassador for UK and Iran and IMO, Professor Robert Mokaya, Prof. Counselor of Global Engage, University of Nottingham, Dr. Siti Maimuna dari Direktur PTGJ, Dr. Bagus, Koordinator dari UK Indonesia Consortium for Interdisciplinary Science. Very good morning to everyone in London and good afternoon everyone in Indonesia. It's a great pleasure for me to be present here and to meet you all virtually. I thank you, highly appreciate the Embassy of Republic of Indonesia to the United Kingdom, Netherlands and IMO, as well as the UK Indonesian Consortium for Interdisciplinary Science for making this event possible. I support and appreciate an establishment of the UKICIS as a breakthrough and concrete contribution from Indonesia diaspora in UK for the advancement and research and innovation. I strongly believe that research and innovation, especially in transportation, are key factors in developing a smart and eco-friendly transportation system. Distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen, transportation produces high carbon dioxide, CO2 emission, which cause greenhouse gases and eventually contribute to global warming. In Indonesia, emissions from the transportation sector account almost 30% of the total CO2 emission. The highest emissions are mainly from the land transportation, which contribute to 88% of the total emission in the transportation sector. The government of Indonesia is fully committed to reduce greenhouse gas emission by 29% with its own effort in this year 2030 and up to 45% with international assistance. To maximize energy efficiency, Indonesia also needs to limit the use of motorized bicycle and encourage people and the community to use non-motorized transportation. Indonesia needs to optimize the use of the mass transportation and shift to private transportation to mass transportation. As the implementation, our national policy, transportation is mandated to implement energy efficient and energy conservation, one of which is utilizing electric vehicle. We can achieve many benefits and advantages by utilize electric vehicle, whereas incentives have also been regulated by the government. The Ministry of Transportation has already implemented the use electric vehicle as our official vehicle. I'm hopefully that through this effort, the transportation sector can continue to create energy transition by using environment-friendly energy and managing energy more wisely in order to achieve the national energy security. I am confident that this forum group discussion is meaningful and significant platform producing policy recommendation and regulatory framework regarding, among others, the development of the vehicle in Indonesia. Ambassador Desra Percaya, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, I have high expectation that the signing of the letter of intent between the University of Nottingham, UK, and the Polytechnic of Road Transportation Safety, Ministry of Transportation of Indonesia, will serve as a starting point for the joint research between the related institutions in the automotive sector, especially in the manufacturing of electric car prototype, as well as in the enhancing the development of the human resources in transportation. May today even be able to encourage aspects of the industrial technology design of electric vehicle, to also promote Indonesia as one of the country producing and exporting electric vehicle. Once again, I thank you for all very much for this encouraging initiative effort. I wish all best in your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. And can I just reiterate how grateful we are to have you in attendance today? I'd now like to pass over to Professor Robert Mokoya to give a short remark.
Thank you very much. And on behalf of the University of Nottingham, I really want to thank you all for making the time to attend this very, very important meeting. Thank you, Minister, for your remarks and for gracing this occasion. Thank you, Ambassador, and welcome you to the UK, and look forward to meeting with you and working with you. And to my colleague, the Director of TS, I look forward to further conversations as we start on this journey of collaboration. The area that we have identified to collaborate on is very, very important because it speaks to the expected future development in terms of transport. It is an area that is an area of excellence at the University of Nottingham, and we are very, very happy through the efforts of Professor Wheeler and others to offer our expertise and also to learn from you. And so I'm very thankful and want to assure everybody that the university will offer its fullest support and make available whatever is needed to take this collaboration forward. And of course, it is only part of a much larger collaboration between the University of Nottingham and Indonesian institutions. So thank you all very much. And I look forward to a growing collaboration as we move forward fruitfully. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Mokoya. We are now going to have a photo session. So if everyone attending the event would like to open up their cameras, and then someone from the embassy will take a picture. Dali, if you could just let me know when you've taken the picture.
Thank you. We are currently taking the picture gradually. Yes, it is done. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm now going to pass back over to Professor Bagus, who is going to continue with the focus group discussion of the event. We'd also like to thank Minister Budi Karya Sumadi for attending today, and we understand if you cannot attend the rest of the session because you have a busy schedule, but we really just like to say thank you for attending. And Bagus, if
Thank you very much, Tamana. Terima kasih sebanyak-banyaknya Bapak Menteri Perhubungan, Bapak Budi Karya Sumadi. Kami sedang mengadakan focus group discussion. Sebentar lagi Bapak Profesor Satryo Sumantri Brodjonegoro akan hadir. Tentu kami mengerti kalau Bapak sibuk, tapi dengan senang hati kami mengundang Bapak untuk terus mendengarkan. Terima kasih. So, friends, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, that is such a privilege to witness the signing of the LOI. And we are going to continue our focus group discussion today with a presentation from Professor Satryo Brodjonegoro, who is the Indonesian chairman for National EV Acceleration Program and the chairman of Akademi Ilmu Pengetahuan Indonesia, our dear friend and also the advisor to the UKICIS. Professor Satryo Brodjonegoro, please. Please, colleagues at the embassy, make Professor Satryo the co-host so he can share his screen.
Okay, thank you, Pak Bagus, for your introduction. Excellency, Minister Budi Karya, Excellency, Ambassador of Indonesia in UK, dear colleague, fellows, professors, friends, ladies and gentlemen, good morning in UK, good afternoon in Indonesia. I would like to speak briefly regarding the Indonesia e-mobility future. As we understand, in Indonesia, we are now keen on developing e-mobility with three main reasons. The first reason is for the challenge in the environment. We are supposed to reduce the greenhouse gas emission from fossil, especially from transportation. The majority of the emission is coming from the transportation. So if we do something on transportation, we hopefully can reduce significantly our greenhouse emission. Sorry. And the second challenge is from the economic point of view. As we know, Indonesia currently every day have to import up to 800,000 barrels of oils per day. So imagine our deficit in our budget. So in order to reduce our import in fuel, then we have to move to electric vehicle, especially battery electric vehicle. And the third issue or challenge is our industrial resilience. We are happy now that today we have a discussion with my colleague from ITB, Pak Bagus, as well as my colleague from Nottingham University, that we are able to develop the technology for the component of the electric vehicle. With Indonesia, in the future, not only as the consumers of the electric vehicle, but we are supposed to be also the player for the battery electric vehicle. Just to give you the information regarding the EV population worldwide up to 2030, as shown by the study by the Boston Consulting Group, that the trend of the gasoline car will be diminishing and reducing. On the other hand, the population of the battery electric vehicle, plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, and mixed hybrid electric vehicle will be increasing from time to time up to 2030. So hopefully the population of electric vehicle will have this about 50%. Okay, so hopefully this will help in reducing the carbon emission worldwide. Another study by Deloitte showing almost similar configuration for the future e-mobility. As you can see, the global market share of the EV, or combined of EV share, will be about 30% in 2030. Yeah, so you can see that the global ICE combustion engine will reduce, even though at this time this is still high. But global BEV and global PHEV will be increasing significantly from the current situation. And in some country, I think in Europe, maybe in UK also, UK is trying to stop the combustion engine vehicle by 2030, if I'm not mistaken. So some countries try already to stop the use of the combustion engine vehicle, but in some country they don't have the plan yet. So that's why the population of the ICE is still significant at this time. So what about the EV market demand in Indonesia? The projection that we are trying to develop in Indonesia, 2021, we hope to have this 5,000 four-wheel. I'm talking about four-wheel EV. And then 2025, 30,000, and 2030, hopefully under 20,000. Well, compared to total demand market of the four-wheelers, of course, the contribution of EV still small. So majority of this is consists of the combustion engine vehicle. Okay, when we talk about EV, people always say, okay, if we have an EV vehicle, then how can I charge my vehicle or my car or my motorcycle? So Indonesian government through PLN is planning to develop and already installing so many charging stations. As you can see, the prediction or the growth of the charging station maybe look like this: 2021 until 2025, about 2,000 units per year. But cumulatively, hopefully in 2025 there will be already 5,053 units of charging station, all models. So every unit of electric vehicle, motorcycle, and four-wheelers, even bus, can have their charging station nearby, so they can operate without any problem. So in developing the EV in Indonesia, we need to develop also the charging station for the cars or for the vehicles. So we have to see the potential location. If we develop the charging station, we install the charging station, we have to know which area has the population of EV the most. So that's why we have this potential location for charging station. This is also for those who want to invest in charging station. We have the figure or location where to invest accordingly. So Jakarta, the highest percentage, 39%. West Java, 36%. East Java, 9%, and Bali, 2%. Yeah, out of the total 100%. This is the most potential location for the EV charging station. Okay, the other thing that important for us in Indonesia is the e-mobility plan for urban transportation nationally. And this is the program of the Minister Budi Karya in the Ministry, how to develop bus transportation, electric bus transportation in several major area or major region. So the national e-mobility plan, considering the city, the location, and the population of the city, and the classification of the city, what kind of city will be supported by the urban transportation, by the e-mobility. And then the assumption of the corridors, because this is important to know the corridor, because electric vehicle, even bus, electric bus they have their own limitation for the this distance. So make sure that the corridors is long enough for the electric bus to perform or to serve the people properly. Also the length of the corridor, the assumption, and the target of rectification. So in Jakarta, for example, it's predicted there will be 10,000 electric bus, yeah, having this data for city. And Bandung, West Java, the predicted targeted for electrification of the e-bus is about 2,471. Bekasi, West Java also is metropolitan city. With this configuration, the predicted of the electric bus will be this number. Bogor, next to Jakarta, big city also, 982 bus, electric bus. Surabaya, East Java, a core city, population 2.8 million people, and then the electric bus is predicted to 1,800 electric bus in the future. And Bali, Denpasar, province capital category, and predicted about almost 900 electric bus in the future. This is for the e-mobility plan. Okay, I think this is toward the end of my presentation. I would like to show and share with you our vision in green energy ecosystem in Indonesia. When we talk about e-mobility, we cannot just talk about the electric vehicle by itself. We have to know for the source of the electricity, where it comes from. So therefore, we want to develop the ecosystem, the green, so that we minimize any carbon emission to the atmosphere. So in this case, then we hopefully can achieve our target for net zero emission, hopefully in 2050 or 2060. The reason for this is because we have the potential of the resources, mineral resources, yeah, nickel, the #1 in the world, aluminum and copper, the #6 in the world, etc. So we optimize added value from this raw material. Yeah, we can develop EV battery. We can develop electric vehicle motor inverter. We can develop electric vehicle lightweight structure and assembly. And even for the charging station, we use the renewable energy for charging station. Yeah, either from wind turbine, or the photovoltaic or solar power. So the material for producing this renewable energy also coming from our resources. So we have the material for the green energy ecosystem for the vehicles and for the source of the electricity. So this will develop the green ecosystem. So our vision is in the integrated ecosystem linking Indonesia's material resources to high value EV product through R&D and investment in advanced material and manufacturing technology, boosting Indonesia's future global outlook, assisted by its comprehensive green energy strategy. And my last slide, again, similar to the previous one, but this is more detailed. This is to building integrated ecosystem of material, product, and technology. So with this figure, we develop a global leadership, active role in Indonesia across international supply chains, and because we have all the material and also the technology. At the same time, we have local energy ownership, supporting villages and islands to build self-sustainable energy ecosystem. So you can see the energy flow, yeah, from renewable energy to supply the charging station, and the material flow is developing for the cars or vehicles, for motor, electric motor, EV battery, etc. So with this, I hope that Indonesia ambition to reduce the carbon emission or to achieve the net zero emission in 2050, hopefully will be fulfilled accordingly. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you very, very much indeed, Professor Satryo. Thank you for being our friend throughout this year. So we would really wish to expedite the acceleration of EV infrastructure development in the country by expediting knowledge exchange from the UK to Indonesia and vice versa, because we know Indonesia have a lot to offer when it comes to science and technology on EV development. One thing that we would like to also accelerate is development of science and technology infrastructure outside Java Island. So we would like to engage universities outside Java Island also, and here have attending the event with us is the Dean of Informatics and Electrical Engineering Faculty at Institut Teknologi Del in Toba. So Dr. Indra Tambunan has been with us from the morning today, so from the afternoon Indonesian time. So Pak Indra, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Please screen share and time is yours. Thank you.
Okay, let me share screen my presentation first. Okay. Is it post? Okay.
Yes, very clear. Thank you.
Okay. Apart from every panelist already, actually, we are really the new beginner, yeah. But we are trying to be involved in the electrical vehicle and research, yeah. So in this case, I just want to introduce our planning for joint research between ITDEL and UK diaspora. So in this case, we are trying to build some electrical autonomous boat in Toba regarding what happened actually in Toba. So actually in our universities, as you can see here, we are really directly in Lake Toba. So in the core side of Lake Toba. So most of our research actually we are trying to improve the quality of the ecosystem in our area, especially the Lake Toba. So in this case, before we already developed some of the water quality measurement system. Some of them are actually the static. So we are trying to improve the quality by measuring first, and then after that we can measure the temperature and the turbidity of the water, and then we can use that information to make some policy and give it to the government to improve the quality of the water of the lake. So another one, actually, we are trying to, because of what happened before, as you may know that Lake Toba is a very big and large lake. So anything can happen, and then especially years ago there is ships that sunk, and we didn't really know where, and then it takes a lot of time to get where the ship sunk, and then I think it's a challenge for us to try to use the technology that we have right now to track the system, track the vessel and the ships on the Lake Toba. So in this case, we are already implemented. So we have this kind of system to track the ship on Lake Toba. But as the urgency research that we have, actually, we are trying to improve Toba as tourist destination priority and the transportation sustainability low carbon, because mostly the ships that sail on Lake Toba are all the carbon solar, and then also none of them actually are using solar panel or any kind of green energy source. So in this kind of research, we are trying to improve, have the direct impact on socio-economy in Lake Toba. As you can see that Lake Toba is a very large, the width is around 30 kilometers. The surface is 1,130 kilometers square. And the depth is around 505 meters. So as you, this is a very different lake from any other lake. And this lake should be maintained, the sustainability, especially in transportation. Therefore, we are trying to improve by trying to make this joint research. We are trying to design and develop the electric boat. As you can see, there are a lot of already electric boat that existing in the world. But apart from that, we are trying to, we will improve the quality of the water, also the air, and anything that related to the sustainability of the Lake Toba using the electric boat that we are trying to design and develop in this joint research. So by joining in the team, actually there is Dr. Bagus Putra Muljadi from University of Nottingham, Satryo Majunta from University of Portsmouth, and Dani Harmanto from the Montfort University. So we hopefully, using the timeline that we have here, we will implement it, our design, and also trying to get some new design and also the new innovation for the electrical boat in Lake Toba. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Indra. And we are now at our last presentation for today's event. We are joined by the representative from West Java Province, Insinyur Bambang Rianto, the head of Directorate of Energy and Mineral Resources from the West Java Province. So, Pak Bambang Rianto, apakah bisa mendengar suara saya?
Bisa, Pak.
Thank you very much. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Thank you, Pak Bagus, Muljadi, and ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon in Indonesia and good morning in UK. Let me present our thought regarding electrical implementation in West Java. So this is our presentation, and as we know that EV utilization is the one of West Java government strategy to reduce carbon emission in transportation sector, and we have the regulation in the national level. There is some law regulation and also ministerial of internal decree about EV, about EV, and also we in West Java province we also have a regional regulation. We have two regional regulation, especially number 2 in year 2019 about regional energy master plan, and also regional regulation number 9 in year 2019 about regional tax. This regional tax is incentive tax for the use of EV, electrical vehicle. Okay, next. And this is our regional energy master plan, for the primary energy targets. We can see here that we want to increase the energy supply from years 2015 from 26 metric tons equivalent up to target in 2050 to 138 metric tons equivalent. And we can see here that from so many source of energy, we want to increase the use of renewable energy mix, yeah, in this case, from 10% in 2015 to 28% in 2050. Yeah. Okay, next. And then we can see now the current fossil fuel consumption in West Java here. Even maybe we have lack data in year 2018. Yeah, we can see that currently the transportation sector energy supply dominated by oil, which reaches 7.49 million liters in year 2017, and it is increased up to 8.28 million liters in years 2019. So it is very quite big increasing, yeah, for the fossil fuel. So therefore, it is very important for us, yeah, in West Java province especially, to convert conventional vehicle into EV, to EV to reduce CO2 emission, of course. In this. Next, Dimas. Okay, then here we can see the back, Mr. Dimas, back. Okay, here we can see the matrix program and action plan in transportation sector. Yeah, in this case in energy supply in West Java province, we can see here that kind of energy, fuel, biofuel, gas fuel, and electricity. We have the target from years 2015 until 2050. We can see that the most important thing here, we can see that the electricity, we want to increase the use of electricity in 2050 to 1.2, yeah, 1.2 or equal to 5.4% from total energy. So we want to increase the electricity energy, and this one is in our action plan is, we can see in number 7, yeah, is gradually escalation the transportation base of natural gas as much as 27.57 MMS CVD, or equal as 500,000 of EV units in 2050, in years 2050. That is the action plan, yeah, especially to increase our target. we have this in our action plan. Before back, Mr. Dimas, back. Would you please back first? Okay, we have here is a 10. Maju lagi, Pak Dimas. Pak Dimas maju. Okay, here we have 10 action plan here. We have this 10 explanation, and the spirit of that action plans are to reduce the use of fossil fuel into natural gas and electricity in transportation system. Ya, we can apa Dimas sebetulnya mundur lagi Pak Dimas? Pak Dimas, can you hear me? Pak Dimas, can you? Okay. So this is the action plan. This is very important in our program in West Java. Yeah. For there's a trouble, yeah, Mr. Dimas. I'm sorry. Pak Dimas, there's a trouble.
Slide nomor berapa Pak? Which slide?
Ya, ini maju lagi terus. Yang tadi yang apa? Yang sekarang progress. Nah, satu lagi. And now Ladies and gentlemen, mundur Pak Dimas, mundur. We are in West Java, or maybe in Indonesia commonly. We are really in the beginning of EV era, yeah, in EV era. So in West Java, currently, we just still very few electric vehicles as shown here. That for 2 wheels, we just have free rent two wheels from PT Hein, and 6 units in West Java province and 20 units in Bandung city. So there are and also there is a grant, yeah, 1 unit from TVS and 1 unit from GESIT. So totally we have 28 2 wheels motor car in West Java, still very, and then in 26 battery exchanger installed in all over Bandung city now. And for 4 wheels, there is main program for 4 wheels have been focused. We have EV utilization for the governor, yeah, vice governor, and the forager. And this is, I think, the first governor in Indonesia and vice governor also, which use the 4 wheels EV, yeah, 4 wheel EVs. And we have a charging station have been installed. 1 unit in Gedung Sate. Gedung Sate is the main office in West Java province, and the other is in 1 unit in PLN office, 1 unit in rest area Cipali in Toll Road, and then 1 private unit in PTLN, and 2 private units in governor and vice governor house. So we are starting now in the EV era like this, yeah, and still very low, but we have to start. And we have a tax incentive, as I told before in the beginning, that we give an incentive and a discount 10% for 4 wheel and discount 2.5% for 2 wheels. Okay, Pak Dimas. Proceed, Pak Dimas. And this is our EV development mind map in West Java. For EV development, we think that there are two main things that we have to provide. First is EV itself, and then charging station. Yeah, there is a charging station. So for EV, it should be providing by public, industry, and the government. For public and industry, we will give an incentive, as I told before, and for the government, we have to be a pioneer. I think, yeah, to be a pioneer to use EV, and we make a study now. Whether it is a rent or buy, which one better? We are still study. And then for the charging station, it is we make mapping studies now where is the charging station should be built, yeah, in West Java. And to build a charging station, it can be by CSR and or mainly by PLN itself, by PLN, yeah, because and PLN can make a B2B with our regional owned enterprise. Okay, we have a regional owned enterprise. Okay, next, Pak. And to use our operational vehicle in West Java province, we will start in 49 office head in West Java province, and we are now still calculating make a comparison between conventional or EV buy or EV rent, yeah. And here we can see that from our calculation that for rent it is more profitable until third year, yeah, until third year, and then after the fourth year, maybe we have to calculate again. So this is the base for our policy to provide a vehicle in West Java province, in the government of West Java province for the 49 office head, yeah, okay, as the pioneer. And then proceed, Pak Dimas. And for the charging station, we have a static corporation frame among institutions for the charging station. We have we think that the government should make a contractual cooperation with a social capital, yeah? And in this case, the government parties is include of our institutional, yeah, Dinas SDM, and the other bureau, yeah, the other bureau, and just like Bapenda, governmental bureau, and financial and asset bureau, yeah. And the social capital is mainly between PT PLN and regional owned enterprise, and and we have to consider for that contractual cooperation for the financial intermediaries, legal intermediaries, asset intermediaries, and system platform cloud, yeah, and cloud. Okay, next. And this is we propose the location for charging station in West Java area, yeah. The red line is the main road network, yeah, main road network in West Java province, and the black dot is our office that spread all over the province area, yeah. That is the black dots. So we propose that the office that we spread in West Java area as the location for charging station, because the office also located in all big cities in West Java, so it is quite in the strategic position, yeah, in this road, in the road network in West Java. This is our proposal. Okay, next. This is the timeline. The timeline for to build the charging station, and also to provide the EV electrical vehicle, yeah, for our operational vehicle. Even we still don't make a decision yet to rent or to buy, but here we have already make a timeline if rent or if it is buy, okay? And then for the charging station, we have to make initiation of EV implementation, and then we have to make a studies of charging station, and then make a cooperation for formulation, and then make a cooperation finalization. So, and then make a detailed engineering design. So then in year 2023, we are ready to construct, yeah, the charging station in as we proposed before, and then we can run in a commercial operation date, yeah, in 2023. So we hope that in 2023 in West Java province we have already construct so many charging station to support EV vehicle transportation, especially for us, yeah, for the government, and also for the public or industry, yeah, who use EV. Next. This is just one of the transportation plan, yeah, for example, this is in Bandung metropolitan area, because so many transportation plan in West Java, not just in Bandung. Yeah, this is just an example that we have an LRT plan in Bandung metropolitan area. This is the map, and we want to introduce here in this system. It should be a subject to discuss. That if we should be used here in this system, it is subject to discuss. Okay, maybe that's all my presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Pak Bambang. So, ladies and gentlemen, friends, colleagues, academics both in the UK and Indonesia, that is the end of our focus group discussion. There's a lot of food for thoughts. We have listened from academics from the UK and Indonesia, both in Nottingham, Bandung, and Toba. Also, we have also listened to Professor Satryo Brodjonegoro and Bambang Rianto, also to give us insights into the plan of the government, both central government and also provincial governments in regards to developing EV infrastructures. There's a lot to digest here. We will make a report that encapsulates the thread of the discussion after this, but we are towards the 1.5 hours into the meeting, so we don't have time for questions and answers. I do apologize for that. But I would like to thank you again, Minister Budi Karya, who was still attending the event with us, and Ambassador Desra Percaya and other colleagues who have joined from the very beginning. This is truly a privilege, again, for me. There are about 35, a bit more than 35 Indonesian professors like myself working across the United Kingdom. We are fortunate to be able to have a tenured permanent position in UK institution, and therefore starting to be able to influence our policies, both at institutional level or trying to win grants from the UK governments to help Indonesia develop its technologies. Through the Global Challenge Research Fund, we also have some funding to collaborate with Pemprov Jabar, Pemkot Bogor, Indonesian universities. And I'm not the only one. Warwick University, Coventry University, there are professors in Durham, in Newcastle, in Southampton, Portsmouth, and others. I cannot name one by one. We are looking forward to conducting more of the same events in the future. And with that, I thank you again for your participation, esteemed colleagues and speakers. And over back to you, Tamana, to close the event. Thank you very, very much indeed.
Thank you, Bagus. And this brings us to the end of the event. Thank you everyone for attending today. I hope you found it very informative. From a British student's perspective and an engineer's perspective, it's so amazing to see the benefits and the potential of this international collaboration. You know, climate change is one of those issues that is going to heavily affect my generation and the next. And so it's amazing to see what people are doing to work towards combating that. And if anything, the pandemic has shown us how much science diplomacy and international collaboration is going to be important. Indonesia is, as Professor Satryo said, Indonesia is the leading producer of base minerals for batteries. And this is why this project is so exciting, because we don't only have the raw materials, but we also have the market of 217 million people. And so with international alliances and such as these, the potential Indonesia has to becoming a leading country in the electric vehicle industry is amazing. So once again, I'd like to thank His Excellency Ambassador Desra Percaya for attending, and the Minister as well for attending. And on behalf of everyone in attendance, thanks to Dr. Bagus Muljadi for organizing the event also. And that concludes today's event.
I'm sorry, just to give a point of information, Tamana, if you have attendance here, if you have questions, please send emails to my email that I will give to you at the dialog box here. bagus.muljadi@nottingham.ac.uk, which I will then forward to colleagues at the embassy and also to other speakers too. Apologies for interrupting, Tamana. Over back to you.
It's fine, I was finished anyway. So that brings us to the end of today's event.
Okay, well, thank you very, very much indeed, Tamana. Great hosting. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Pak Dubes, Pak Menteri Perhubungan, Pak Budi Karya, Pak Satryo, Patrick Wheeler, Pak Bambang, Pak Indra. Thank you very much indeed. Until we meet again.
Thank you, Pak Bagus.